Hey there, and welcome! You ever get that feeling when you're talking about the past and you just feel stuck? Like, you know exactly what you want to say, but the right words just aren't there. Well, today, we're going to fix that. We are diving deep into past modal verbs. Trust me, once you get these down, you'll be expressing everything from certainty to regret with so much more confidence. Let's do this.
So, could've, should've, must've. If seeing these on the screen makes your head spin just a little bit, don't worry, you are absolutely in the right place. These can be really tricky, but we're going to break them all down piece by piece. By the end of this, you'll be using them like a pro, I promise.
So here's our game plan for today. We'll start with what these past modals actually mean. Then we'll move through things like being certain about the past to what was possible. Then we'll get into the more emotional stuff, like regrets and expectations. And to wrap it all up, we'll do a quick quiz to make sure it all sinks in. Sound good? Let's get going.
First up, certainty and deduction. So for this section, I want you to put on your detective hat. You're looking at all the clues from something that happened in the past, and you're making a logical conclusion. You're saying, this is what must have happened. This isn't about guessing, it's about being sure.
And here they are, the two most important tools for our detective work. Think of must-have as your magnifying glass. You use it when all the evidence points to a definite yes. On the flip side, can't have is what you use when you know for a fact something was impossible. They're really just two sides of the same coin, the coin of certainty.
So let's say your keys are gone. You've checked everywhere. When you say someone must have taken them, you're connecting the dots. It's the only logical conclusion left. And if you throw in the word surely, like in surely you must have noticed it, you're just cranking up the certainty dial. You're basically saying there's no way you missed this.
All right, so we've got certainty down pat. But what about when things aren't so certain? Now we're jumping into the world of possibility. We're talking about all the what-ifs, the things that could have happened, but maybe didn't. This is where we get to explore alternate timelines of the past.
And could have is like your master key for all these alternate pasts. It's so flexible. You see, it can talk about an ability someone had but didn't use, like David, who could have won the race. It can show you're not sure about something. Who called? I don't know, it could have been Sue. Or it can even show that someone just wasn't willing to do something. She could have gone to the party, but she decided not to. It all depends on the situation.
Now, may have and might have are super similar. They both point to things that were possible in the past. Like if a friend has a close call while swimming, you might say, "Be careful, you might have drowned." But check this out. This is one of my favorite little tricks in English. If you really stress the words, you can show you're annoyed. Picture saying this: "You might have told me my trawlers were split." See? That's not about what could have happened. That is 100% you being annoyed. How cool is that?
Okay, let's switch gears a bit. Now we're getting into the really emotional side of past modals. This part is all about looking back and comparing what really happened with what we wish had happened. You know, what we expected or what we now regret.
And this slide, wow, it just nails the core idea here. Should have versus shouldn't have. We're basically time traveling in our minds to judge a past action. We're holding it up against what we think was the right thing to do. This is the language of regret and hindsight.
So should have can be for something simple, like expecting a package to arrive. But let's be honest, it's often used for a little criticism, right? You shouldn't have eaten so much. But here's the kicker, and this is so important. Your tone of voice can completely flip the meaning. If someone gives you a surprise gift and you say with a big smile, "Oh, you really shouldn't have," that's a classic polite way to say thank you so much. It's all in how you say it.
Okay, deep breath. This next one. This is one of the trickiest parts of English, for sure. But trust me, we're going to make it super simple. This is all about whether something was necessary to do and, the really important part, whether you actually did it anyway.
All right, really focus on this because this one trips up everybody. But it's so easy once you see it like this. On the left, needn't have done. The action happened. You did it. But later you realized it was a total waste of time. You needn't have rushed. Now look at the right. Didn't need to do. Here, the action never happened. You found out it was unnecessary beforehand, so you just didn't do it. You didn't need to rush. See the difference? One happened, the other didn't. Simple as that.
Whew! Okay, that was a ton of information, I know. But the absolute best way to make it all stick is to actually use it. So it's time to test your skills. I'm going to show you a sentence with a blank. You just have to figure out which past modal fits best. You ready?
All right, question number 1. Let's see it. You and your big mouth. It was supposed to be a secret. You told her. What do you think goes in there? Go ahead, pause and think for about 5 seconds.
And the answer is, shouldn't have told. Perfect. This is a classic case of criticizing something that already happened. You did something that you weren't supposed to do.
Okay, here comes the next one. You aren't met my brother. I haven't got one. Think about the logic on this one. What's the only thing that makes sense? 5 seconds.
The answer is can't have. It's impossible, right? Since I don't have a brother, it's logically impossible for you to have met him. You're expressing that certainty that it didn't happen. It's our detective mode again.
Question 3. There is only one explanation. You must left your keys on the bus. Which modal here just screams logical conclusion? You got 5 seconds.
Yep, it's must have. We're back in detective mode. You've checked your pockets, your bag, the house. All other options are out. This must be what happened.
And our final question, the meat is a bit burnt. You cooked it for so long. How would you phrase this as a bit of a criticism or maybe some advice for the past? Take 5 seconds.
And the answer is shouldn't have. Just like in our first question, this is all about looking back at a mistake. Cooking it for that long wasn't the right thing to do, and shouldn't have expresses that perfectly. Fantastic job on that quiz.
Let's just circle back for a second to that really tricky one, the unnecessary actions. Picture this. I think I'm out of cash, so I go all the way to the bank. Then I get home, I look at my wallet, and what do you know? I had plenty of money the whole time. The trip was a total waste. I can look at my wallet and say, I needn't have gone after all. The action happened, but it was useless. That's the perfect time to use needn't have. And just like that, you've got this. You've just unlocked some of the most powerful tools in English for talking about the past. You can now go way beyond just saying what happened. You can talk about what might have been, what should have been, and what must have been. You're not just reporting facts anymore, you're adding layers of meaning. So now you can speak about the past with real confidence. Thanks for joining this explainer.